Hello there. My name is Brandon, and I'm a aircraft maintenance supervisor for an airline that operates out of the United States. I work in the Pacific Northwest, um, and I wanted to make this video to kind of go over what the pay is for our technicians, and also wanted to go over what the pay is for the management that oversees the technicians. So with my airline, a brand new technician, they are going to start out at around $36 an hour. And they're all unionized, so it's all based on a pay scale. But they start out at $36 an hour. After about 4 years, they will be sitting at around $45 an hour. And then after 8 years, they'll be around $60 an hour. Our technicians, they generally work in 3 shifts. Here we have day shift, swing shift, and midnights. There's usually different kinds of work that each shift does. Usually days and swing shift, we do a lot of through flights. So as an airplane flies in, leaves, we will make sure that, like, we'll do a walk around, make sure there's no pilot write-ups, and if there are any write-ups, we'll take care of them. We work out of service, so if something comes in that we can't fix right then and there, we'll take the airplane out of service. And we also work out of service on airplanes that go out of service overnight. There's a lot of times something will go out of service overnight, and then we got to wait for parts to come in before we can actually fix it. And then by that time, generally everybody on midnights has already left. Also, I would say the average mechanic here works anywhere from 200 to 300 hours of overtime. Some of them even work up to 500, 600 hours a year overtime. So that's a pretty good chunk of change, I would say. Management. So the starting pay for a supervisor here with the airline I work for, I believe right now the starting pay is like $145 a year, and it's like $145 to $167 a year. And of course that's gonna it's gonna involve how much experience you have with the fleet you're working on. It's gonna depend on how much experience you have managing people, managing a union. Management's a little bit different. It's more about working with people and working with the strengths and weaknesses that you have at your base, and really just propelling the technicians to do their job to the best of their ability. And there's a lot more to it, of course, but that's just a simple way to put it in the nutshell. I didn't really go over what midnight technicians do. So in addition to through flights and working out of service and whatnot, we do a lot of scheduled routine maintenance on our fleet. And so there's a lot more mechanics that work midnights. And I would say here we do anywhere from 150 to 180 man hours of work. So generally that equates to about 25 to 30 mechanics that work midnights, compared to day shift and swing shift, where on day shift we'll have maybe 5 to 6 mechanics, and swing shift will have 5 to 6 mechanics. So it varies a lot. I would say that you can definitely make a comfortable standard of living, especially if you work overtime. And it also depends on what city you're working out of. But I can tell you, for someone like me, who I live in the Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest, where the cost of living is relatively high, I think I do have a pretty good standard of living, for sure. Schooling to get into this career field, generally it's like 2 years of full-time schooling. There's a lot of private and public schools out there that offer the certifications to do this kind of work. And you can pay from a public school, you're maybe looking at $12,000 total compared to a private school where you could be looking at $30,000 to $50,000. So that's another thing to consider if you were looking into this type of work. But there is lots of job openings throughout the country, especially if you're willing to travel. With my story, I've traveled quite a bit to get to where I'm at today, but for me it was well worth it, and I'm super glad I did it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.